Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Felita Daniely. For the benefit of those of you who do not know me, and for the benefit of those of you who are watching this call on replay, my name is Felita Daniely, independent sales leader with New Avon. I am coming out to you tonight. We are going to talk about tax tips for Avon beauty bosses. Now, we are let's see, today is Thursday, March the 7th, so we're a few weeks away before the final tax deadline. And what I have found is that most people are very, very challenged in this area when it comes to finances. I think a lot of times we bring people into the business, but we don't really necessarily share with them how having a home-based business can really, really help you save on your taxes, as far as a lot of the things that you're able to write off. A lot of people are totally clueless as far as the benefits, the tax benefits of having a home-based business. So one of the reasons why I always want to make sure that I share this, and I do have a couple of videos out there on YouTube as well, and you can go and watch those if you'd like. But on tonight, I'm going to share more information from the Internal Revenue Service that it's public information, but we just really honestly don't know that it's available to us. We have access to it, okay? So the first thing that I want to share with you tonight is how important it is to make sure that you educate yourself. I am amazed at the number of people who, number one, have a business, and number two, they never use their business when it comes to their taxes. Now, let me make sure that I make a disclaimer here before we get started. I want to let you know that I am not a certified accountant, okay? I am not certified. All of the information that I'm providing to you tonight is simply public education, okay? So a lot of your questions that you may have, I won't be able to answer those questions for you. I would encourage you to seek or look out or search for the information yourself, or contact your certified public accountant so that they can give you and make sure that you are informed with the information that you have questions about, okay? So the first thing I want to share with you is that what I would like for you to do is take the time to go to www.irs.gov/publications/334. Publication 334 is a tax guide for all small businesses. This is a free publication. It is available for you. All you have to do is go out there, download it, and read it. This also helps you. It also helps you. So when you take your information and you take your tax documents to your CPA, it helps to educate you. You are educated because you've had the opportunity to read and understand what's available to you. A lot of times, you may have someone who just does taxes. They're not really, they're not really certified, but they just do taxes, okay? So a lot of times they end up doing things that's not in alignment with the law. I personally know someone who did that. They took their taxes and let this person do the taxes for them, and they ended up getting them back all this money, and turns around the following year, they had to turn around and pay the government back. So one thing you want to make sure that you do is to educate yourself and understand what's available to you and what type of deductions are available to you as a home-based business owner. Now, the beauty of having a home-based business is that just as all of these brick and mortar businesses, you have the same deductions and tax write-offs as all of these brick and mortar businesses as a home-based business owner. So that's one of the reasons why I think everybody needs to have a home-based business, because the system is set up for people who have home-based businesses. So again, I want you to go to www.irs.gov/publications/334 and download that tax guide for small businesses and read through that tax guide. We're going to take a moment tonight and we're going to go through a couple of things and we're going to learn what's new for this year. Now, this year, from my understanding, there's been a lot of changes. And so we need to make sure that we understand a few of them, okay? Now, the next thing you need to know is that you will receive a 1099 from Avon when you have personal sales of at least $5,000 or more, or you have earned at least or received at least $600 or more in prizes, such as, you know, it could be a prize or something that you earned when it comes to your trips, when it comes to your online earnings. All of those are classified as earnings. So all of that has to be reported because you are self-employed through your Avon business, okay? You are required as an independent contractor or independent sales representative to pay your self-employment taxes, okay? So the Internal Revenue Service says that if your net income from self-employment is $400 or more, you must file a return and compute your self-employment tax on Schedule SE or Form 1040. Now, your CPA will understand and know exactly what form you're going to need when you take your documentation to them, okay? So that's important for you to know. So just understand, if you have sold at least $5,000 or more, okay, or basically bought at least $5,000 or more in merchandise from Avon, you'll be receiving a 1099, okay? Or if you have earned $600 or more in prizes or other earnings, which basically will come through your online sales, you need to report that income, okay? Now, the next thing that I want to share with you is the importance of keeping good records. Okay, I cannot stress this more than anything. It's so important to make sure that you are keeping good records. Now, the old-fashioned way that I used to keep my records, and still a lot of people still do this today, is they use the old-fashioned file folders. Whatever method works for you, just make sure that you've got some type of record-keeping system so that when it's time for you to submit your tax document and file your taxes, you have all of your receipts. It's really, really important. So now, if you just want to go old school, I want to encourage you to just get some file folders, okay? Get a total of 12 file folders. Make sure you label it January through December, okay? And make sure that for all of your invoices that you receive from Avon, all of your invoices go inside these folders. Any type of receipts, any type of purchases that you make for your business, you need to keep receipts. You need to make sure that you are making copies of these receipts. You can actually take a photo of it with your cell phone and save it, because a lot of times with these receipts nowadays, the ink wears out so quickly, it's amazing. But I honestly feel like it's done like that on purpose so that you won't have evidence or have proof that you made the purchase. So if you purchase something today and you have a copy of that receipt, 9 times out of 10, if it's in with some other paper, it's going to press up against that other paper, and the following week, you're not going to even be able to read that receipt anymore. So that's the reason why I encourage you that when you are making purchases for your business, to make sure that you take a copy of it with your cell phone and store those images inside your phone. Make a separate file or a separate folder for it in your phone and label it tax receipts. And then that way you'll never have to worry about a receipt fading and not not having that information. Because if you held on to it the entire year and you were not logging in that information, you would end up losing a lot, because I'm telling you, these receipts will fade on you so fast, it's just unreal. Okay. Now, another way that you can keep your records is using a 3-ring notebook binder. Okay. You can get a 3-ring notebook binder, and let me show you. I didn't even want y'all to see my notebook because I got so much stuff in here. But you can actually buy these type of inserts. These are file folders that you can use to keep track of all of your records. You can insert all of your receipts, all of your documents inside. It has a little sleeve here that you can slide all of your documents in. And then, of course, you label these January through December. And that way you're keeping track of all of your records inside that 3-ring notebook binder. Okay. So again, that's old school, but if you're not as disciplined about sitting down, doing your record keeping every single week, then you need to make sure that you've got some type of system set up. Okay. Now, another way you can keep track of everything is using the Excel spreadsheet. Now, again, these old school ways, they're old school, but they work, because I did them for many, many years. I used the notebook, I used the file folder, I used the Excel spreadsheet. Now, let me show you this Excel spreadsheet that I use. Can you, hopefully you all can see my screen. Let me make sure that you can see it here. Let's see here, screen. Okay, can y'all see this screen? You see this Excel spreadsheet on your screen? I hope that you can. I think all of you are muted out. But yes, on your, okay, great. Thank you, brother. Thank you. So on your Excel spreadsheet, you can keep track of, number one, your income here at the top, and then down at the bottom, you can keep track of all of your expenses. Now, I indicated, this is just the way that I used to do. I used to keep track of everything, but this way. I don't encourage you to keep track of everything this way, because number one, if you don't know how to put the formulas in here to automatically, make sure that everything is adding up, then of course it just defeats the whole purpose. Okay. But if you've got the formulas inserted here in the rows and in the columns and everything, it will work. It will work for you. But there are several different expenses that are pretty much allowable that I used to keep up and make sure that I kept. Now, let me go over just a few of those expenses. Now, advertising. If you are paying money to advertise your business, such as running Facebook ads, Instagram ads, newspaper ads, any type of advertising that you are incurring as an expense, that is tax deductible. Okay, just understand that that is tax deductible. The ad valorem tax on your automobile, not the entire amount, only the ad valorem tax, which is generally about $20, which is here, about $20 here in Georgia. That's expense. Anytime you have any type of your mileage. Now, from my understanding that you could either deduct either the expense that you incur on your vehicle or the mileage. But for me, I always get the most from mileage. So that's just my personal preference. I don't have enough expenses throughout the year with my automobile, so I make sure that I keep track of all of my business miles. Now understand, this is exclusively for business miles only. Not if you're just using, whenever you get in your car and you just go driving somewhere, that does not count, okay? Now, let me make sure that you understand about the mileage. If you are leaving from your home, going to your job, those miles are not deductible, okay? But now, If you leave from your home and you make a stop at a coffee shop and you sit down and you talk business to somebody, that is tax deductible, okay? So therefore, you get to deduct the mileage from your home to the coffee shop. That is tax deductible. Now, on your way back home from work, if you're coming straight home from work, that is not tax deductible. However, if you stopped at McDonald's on your way home and you decide to do an event, set up a table, just to hand out Avon brochures there at that McDonald's, then the mileage there would be deductible. So it would be the mileage from the McDonald's to your home, okay? So you have to understand that. So anytime you go to a meeting, anytime you go out to put out flyers, anything that's benefiting your Avon business, that mileage is deductible, okay? Now, your business tools, keep in mind all of your brochures that you purchase, your samples that you purchase, any type of business tools, business supplies, your bags, all of those are considered business tools and they are tax deductible, okay? Now, your cell phone. Now, if you are using your cell phone exclusively for business, then you can deduct your cell phone. But if you're using your phone for both personal use and for business, then you're only going to be allowed, I think it's only like 50%. So that's generally the way my tax person does mine. I think it's like a 50-50 percentage. So if you're using 50% personal and then 50% business, then only 50% of it will be deductible, okay? I have on here calling post phone service because I used to send out calls to my team. That was deductible as well. Your cost for products, you need to make sure you include that. Your contributions and your gifts. So if you give away products, if you're giving away products like, say, for instance, to a homeless shelter or something like that, and you're donating to these organizations, or you're making a contribution, a financial contribution, or in products, you need to make sure you keep track of all of that as well. Your dues and subscription, any type of dues and subscriptions that you incur that's benefiting your business, that's helping you grow your business, that's also an expense as well. Now, say for instance, like just to give you an example, let's say for instance, you were taking some online marketing training and your fee is like $20 a month for you to learn how to market your business. Then of course that would be an expense for you, okay? So just keep in mind, dues and subscriptions that are related to your business, that is deductible. All of your demonstration products, if you're using your merchandise, your products, your demos that you purchase, if you're using them for the purposes of, with the intent to sell merchandise, your demonstration products are tax deductible as well, okay? Any type of equipment that you're buying for your business, you know, such as your, you know, your cell phone, you know, if you buy a new computer specifically for your business, you have to, I'm not sure as far as what percentage is actually deductible. You'll need to check with your CPA to find out, but that I'm sure that there's a portion that is deductible. I do know that there's a depreciation part that goes into there as well, okay? It used to be your meals were included. Now, I do know at one time, and I think it was like last year sometime, the meals had been taken away. But from my understanding now, the meals have been added back, but it has to be business related. So if you're going to an event, okay, let's say for instance, you're going to Rep Fest, okay, and you're on the road and you have to buy food for the event, you have to feed yourself, okay, then that would be a deductible expense that you would have to incur for your business. So you just make sure that when you purchase it, you make sure you write on that receipt what it's for. Of course, you're going to have to make sure you have all your documentations in order as well. So make sure you keep track of all of your receipts and everything. Your health insurance, that's also deductible. Your order processing fees, anytime you have to pay any type of fees to Avon, those are also deductible as well. Your internet service, of course, that's an expense as well, okay? Any type of marketing tools and services and things like that that you have to use that that helps you to grow your business, that is part of your expense as well, okay? Your office supplies, if you have to purchase paper, you know, copy paper, when you go to the copy center to make copies for your flyers or whatever, when you buy your business cards, when you buy your pens that you need for your business, just know that all of your expenses that you incur as far as your office supplies that you're going to use specifically for your business, that is part of your expense as well, okay? Parking fees. Now, if you have an Avon meeting somewhere and you have to pay for parking, like a lot of times I know in the past we used to have meetings at like the Galleria, okay? So if you have to pay parking fees to attend an Avon event, then those fees will be considered an expense, and that's tax deductible for you as well, okay? Your postage. When you use campaign mailer is a service that you use to mail brochures. Well, actually, they mail the brochures, but every time you send a brochure to your customers via campaign mailer, that is tax deductible. That is an expense for your business. Or if you go to the post office and you mail merchandise, I mean, if you mail products or if you mail brochures to your customers, that is part of an expense for your business as well, okay? I don't know why I have refreshments and supplies. I think when I was holding Avon meetings, I used to have refreshments, which was an expense. So if you hold a team meeting for your team members and you have to buy refreshments for that meeting, that's considered an expense for your business as well. So that's an expense, so you'll be able to write that off as well. Sales tax. Sales tax is part of what we pay to Avon. Now, if you were a business owner, an independent business owner, okay, you would have to pay your state sales tax, the sales tax to your state, okay? However, as an independent sales representative as with Avon, we pay sales tax directly to Avon, okay? But you get to write that off as an expense on your taxes as well, okay? Now, your CPA fees that you pay to prepare your fees, to prepare your taxes, that is an expense as well. Your travel, when you travel, if you're going to Rep Fest, like when I went to the leadership kickoff back in January, I get to write that travel off, okay? So if you travel to Rep Fest, that's an expense for you as well. You have to stay in the hotel for a couple of days. The mileage to and from there is tax deductible, okay? Because it's part of what you need to do to grow your business, okay? Anytime you take training and seminars and you have to pay a fee for those, then just understand that that is an expense as well. Part of your utilities, because you are a home-based business owner, if you have a room set up specifically for your Avon business, okay, now this is the key. Okay, you have to have a room set up specifically that you're using for your business. That portion is considered, considered deductible for you. Okay, so a portion of your utilities are considered an expense for you as well. Vendor fees. So if you go to an event and you have to pay like a table fee, most events charge you like $25, $35, $40, so forth and so on. That is an expense that you're incurring to grow your business. So that would be tax deductible. So just make sure that you get the receipt from the person that you are paying the money to, so that you make sure that you have the required documents to be able to have proof of that, okay? Your domain fees, if you, let's say for instance, you bought a domain name, okay? So you decided that you're gonna brand yourself, like say for instance for me, my beauty brand is Beauty and Boss Life. So when I bought my domain name, that was an expense that I needed for my business. So therefore, that is tax deductible as well, okay? So you can see that, and I'm sure that there's probably many other expenses as well, but those are just a few that I wanted to share with you, that I actually personally use for myself. Okay, now I want to tell you about a couple of softwares that that may benefit you better than using the old school system. Okay, now QuickBooks for self-employed. QuickBooks, I personally don't use QuickBooks, but I do know a lot of business owners that use QuickBooks. Okay, so you want to find a software system that is going to help you keep track of everything. Okay, now there is a free software recommendation that I'll recommend to you. It's called Wave Accounting. Okay, if you go to www.waveaccounting.com, as a matter of fact, I think it's now called the Wave app. I used to use the Wave app until I joined another affiliate company that has a record keeping system. I don't even have it on my phone anymore, but I think it's called Wave app. If you go into the Google Play Store and look for the Wave app, it should come up. It's Wave Accounting. So if you type in either Wave, W-A-V-E Accounting in Google Play Store, or if you have iTunes or iPhone, just go into there and just search for it, the Wave Accounting app, or either look for Wave app. You should be able to find it. It is a free software service you can use. Now, it's totally free, but however, if you need to upgrade and if you need access to like a CPA, you can pay for those services as needed. That's what I did like about that software, is that it does allow anybody and everybody. You could upload your bank statement so that you can record all of the necessary documents, all of the expenses that you need to record. But you need to have some type of record keeping system so that when filing your taxes, when tax time comes around, you're not scrambling trying to find everything. Okay, it's really, really important to make sure that you understand this, because when you don't have all of the necessary paperwork in order, your CPA is 9 times out of 10 going to charge you a whole lot more money if you come in there with just everything all laid out on your one spreadsheet, or if you come in there bringing her a huge shoebox full of paperwork and receipts and everything. That stuff takes time, and you need to be disciplining yourself to sit down and do that at least once a campaign. If you're not going to do it once a week, you need to make sure that you're doing it at least once a campaign. Okay, so I highly encourage you to get a good record keeping system. So whatever system you're going to use, I'm not going to recommend anything, but like I said, with Wave Accounting, that is a free software system that you can start off using that. And if you decide that you want to go later to QuickBooks, that's totally left up to you. But you got to get some type of software that's going to help you stay organized and keep your business in order. Okay, that's one thing that we don't talk about in this business. We don't talk about keeping our records, our financial records in order. And that's one of the reasons why most people end up in financial shambles, because they're not paying attention to what's going on in their finances. Okay, so it's important for you to make sure that you do that. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are tracking all of your expenses every campaign. Most of your information is going to be stored on your Avon invoice. Okay, now Avon used to keep the invoices in your web office for a year, but I looked in there today and those invoices go back to 2016. So if you need to go back and reference something from 2017, you have it right there in your web office. The majority of everything that you need will be stored on your invoices. Okay, so you'll make sure that you're tracking all of those expenses. I've already gone over everything that you need to make sure that you're tracking, such as your income, your products sold, your cost for products, your payments that you're making to Avon, such as quick pay payment, any credit card payments, your sales tax, your easy return fees, your shipping fees, your campaign fees, your demo products, your business tools, your business mileage. Your business mileage won't be on that invoice, okay? So I didn't mean to imply that it would, but just know that that's actually separate, okay? So I think that once you start to put everything in order, I think if you just start with, even if you start with the file folder system, if you don't have anything in place right now, go get just basic file folders, okay? And start putting all of your invoices and all of your receipts in those file folders. And then figure out what you're going to use, okay, as far as software, whether or not you're going to go with QuickBooks or whether or not you're going to go with Wave. I personally use a system through my econ, which I use for my record keeping. And it made, I didn't even realize how many headaches I was going through using those spreadsheets. Because last year, all I had to do was just go in there because I had been keeping up with everything. And all I had to do was go in there and tell it to consolidate everything from January to December. And it just pulled everything together for me. I pressed click and voila, everything just came out. And my tax lady was like, oh my God, what in the world did you do this year? So that system, and it also helped me to have a clear picture of how much money I was making and what my expenses were as well, okay? So I wanted to just make sure that you knew about that. So now I'm gonna take a moment and I'm gonna go through this IRS publication just for a few minutes and show you what this publication looks like, okay? So here it is. So when you go to, and if you just Google publication 334, it'll show up like this. It's a PDF file. And I'm gonna also post this in the group as well. So I'll remember to post it tonight, but it has everything that you need to know about your 2018 returns, okay? So just go through here and just kind of read it and understand it. And if you don't want to read everything at one time, then just go and look through here through the contents and see exactly where it's actually located. And then just take some time and go through here and read, you know, because, you know, the Bible tells us people perish for the lack of knowledge. And most of the time people get over on you because you have a lack of knowledge. So that's why it's so important to make sure that you educate yourself. Know what your benefits are as a self-employed individual, okay? And I've even had people in the past to say, well, I don't want to sell over this amount of money because I don't want to pay the government no money. By the time you write off all your expenses, chances are you're going to end up probably getting more money. So don't even be thinking like that. Don't have a poverty mindset. Have a wealth mindset and say, come in and say, well, I'm going to make as much money as I possibly can. Just make sure that you are keeping good records and make sure that you have all of your necessary documents to back up whatever it is that you say, whatever you put down, and you give your tax professional, whatever expenses that you say you had, just make sure you got the necessary paperwork and documentation to back it up, okay? So you'll see here, this document is actually 54 pages long, okay? 54 pages long. But it tells you everything that you need to know as a self-employed individual, okay? Do I have to file an income tax return? How do I file? It tells you about electronic filing. It tells you about, it even mentions in here, let me go through here real quick. It tells you, it breaks down everything that you need to know if you have questions about your business checklist and things of that nature. It even tells you about, you know, the mileage, how the mileage is actually calculated. So it's very, very important, again, that you educate yourself. that you know exactly what you're talking about. So when you take your paperwork to your tax professional, and if she tells you, well, this is no longer deductible, you've got your documentation right here to back it up to say, well, according to this publication right here, it is deductible. Okay. Now, some people are now doing their taxes themselves. Okay. I think let me see, what's the name of that tax software? I can't think of the name of the tax software, but I do know a lot of people are now doing their own taxes. Okay. If that's the route you choose to go, then, choose to go it, because as long as you educate yourself and you understand, what you can actually report and what, you can actually write off, then I say, hey, and if you can save yourself $300-400 from paying a tax professional, hey, do it. I say do it. It's totally left up to you. Okay. So here we are here in section 5, business income. It tells you all about the kinds of income. Okay. So just go through here and just read, find out what you are eligible for, because the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, is going to tell you everything that you need to know when it comes to your taxes. Okay. So that's all that I had to share with you tonight. So I want to open up the call, and I want to see if anybody have questions. Now, I want to just say this. Please, I cannot, as I mentioned earlier, I am not a certified CPA, okay? So I won't be able to answer specific questions for you when it comes to, what is this and what is that. But you can go here and get this copy of this tax guide, and it pretty much will answer all the questions that you have. Okay, so I do ask you to do that. But if you have any questions, any specific questions other than that, please unmute your phone and let's chat. What is not clear to you? What do you need to know? What can I answer for you? Hey, to the other ladies that joined the call a little bit later, I see we're finished a little bit earlier tonight. It's about 10 minutes to 9. So, hey, I've been rocking and rolling tonight. So does anybody have questions?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, now you said you go to the, what is it, www.is.gov/publication. Now you said how many pages this is? How long this?
It's 54 pages long, but it's one combined document.
And so you can load this on Adobe, right? Adobe file, or?
I guess so. It's a PDF document. Okay, so
okay.
whatever you save it to, I guess so. But if you just go to Google and type in publication 334, it'll pop up.
Oh, okay. And the other one, the Wave, now that's a what? Somewhere you keep the records or something? The Wave account, you said it's free?
Right, it's free. It's Wave Accounting. It used to be under, I didn't even check the website. Let me see if it's still available. Hold on a minute. Let me go to the website. Wave.
All right, because my record keeping it bad. That's why
accounting.com. I think it's changed to Wave Apps. So yeah, even if you go to waveaccounting.com, it's going to automatically forward you over to Wave Apps, apps.com, waveapps.com. So hold on a minute, let me show it to you so you'll know what it's going to look like when you go to the site here. Let's see here, new share screen. Can y'all see it now?
Okay, it said Wave.
Yeah.
You can see it. You can see it. Wave, empowering small business owners every step of the way. Yeah.
Right.
No, I don't see it. Oh, I see it now.
So see here, it says sign up for free. Okay. And yeah, there are, free financial software. See right here? Free financial software. So I say at least get started with Wave. Okay. Start off with Wave, and but my thing of it is that when you find something that you get accustomed to, it's kind of hard to switch from one thing to the next. Okay. So you might want to, you know, and I don't even know if QuickBooks is free, but chances are just with the name QuickBooks, there's going to be a cost to it. So if you don't want to incur a monthly expense at this point, then just go with Wave.
Okay. And this is where you go to put all your expenses, right?
Right. You're going to log all of your expenses. Every campaign, you want to make sure that you're sitting down logging all of your expenses. So you're going to take you're going to take your invoice and you're going to start keying in all of those expenses on your invoice. Okay. You're going to also make sure you're keeping track of your mileage. You know, there is a mileage tracker that I think it's a mileage tracker app that you can download as well.
Yeah, I have it on my phone.
Okay, good. Okay, so make sure that you have a mileage tracker app on your phone so that you can keep track of your business miles. You just got to remember to turn it on whenever you're going to do business. Okay. The software, the app that I use, it has a tracker on it as well. And also with Wave, there is an app that you can download as well. So if you want to just use the Wave app for your phone, so just remember every time you're out and you make a purchase for your business, just pick up your phone immediately, go and take a picture of the receipt, go into your phone and log it in. And then that way you don't have to worry about everything piling up on you at one time. You've got everything doing it as you go along. Okay. It's just that we have to just remember to stay in that record keeping mindset so that we're not overwhelmed when tax time comes every year.
Yeah, okay. My record keeping is lousy. That's why I was asking.
Yeah. Most people record keeping skills are very, very lousy. Because we're just not taught to be record keepers. We're not taught as business owners that that's an important part of your business. But how can you ever know where you are if you are not keeping good records? You're not going to know, you know, because if you're constantly spending money, and you're not keeping up with what's going out, you're not looking at what's coming in, there's no way you can know where you are financially. And it's sad, but a lot of reps are like that. They, not only in Avon, a lot of business owners do that, you know, because the average business owner just doesn't want to take the time to do books. Nobody likes to. I honestly don't like to do books myself, but I recognize that it's part of the business. It's part of the process. And if I want to make sure that I'm tracking my money and making sure that I track what's coming in and what's going out, it's going to make you so much more aware moving forward. Even in your home finances, it's going to make you so much more aware of where your finances are going, that you're just not going to, you know, you'll find yourself being very, like, asking yourself, well, wait a minute, is this a need or is this a want? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we end up buying all these excess business supplies that we really end up we don't need. And so they end up being there just piling up, collecting dust. You know, we got all these excess books sitting there and we're not doing anything with it. We got all these excess samples sitting there and we're not even giving them out to people. So we want to make sure that we are being good stewards with our finances. And when you are being good stewards with your finances, you know, you are blessed. And so therefore you become a blessing where you can bless other people. And that's what it's all about.
Okay.
Okay. But those are good questions though, Sandy. Thank you for asking that. Anybody else have any questions?
I don't have a question, but
Okay.
what I have is that I have a representative, and she never used her business as a tax write-off because she feels though because she was buying her stuff personally that it wasn't a tax write-off. And we need to let the rest know is that as long as you're an Avon representative and you're buying products, whether you're buying a personal for yourself or buying it for a customer, it's a tax write-off.
Absolutely.
And
Oh, yeah?
yeah, it's because you're buying products. It doesn't matter. You still you pay for this business as being an Avon rep. So some people, like you say, some people that's all that's what their tax person is telling them. You need something to write off. So
Mhm.
if you join an Avon just for that, then everything that you buy is a write off. If you buying products, it's a write off. So she hasn't been using it because she was saying, "Well, I wasn't selling it to anybody. I was just buying personal." But yet still she's buying $200 worth of Avon.
Oh,
Wow.
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 She's spending money, and so even though whether you're doing for a customer for yourself, you're spending money, it's still a tax write-off.
Right. And according to the Internal Revenue Service, it says as long as you have the intent to conduct business. So she may not have any customers, or she may not have many customers, but she had the intention
Right,
of selling to customers.
right,
Okay.
right,
And that's the key right there.
right.
I
So
have a question for Brenda.
for me,
Do that person who's selling, does she have to be sold $5,000 before she write it off, or she just write it off?
no, not Felita. No, she don't really have to have that. I mean, your tax write-off is any money that you spend in your business.
Right.
That's basically what tax write-off is. It's not
Okay.
thousands of dollars. It's like just like Felita was saying. Her intent when she came into Avon is to build a business to sell to customers. It didn't work out as well as she thought, but she likes the product, so she don't
Mhm.
want to give it up. So even so, by her, by her buying and not giving it up, she still can use it as a tax write-off, even though because $200, $100, she will wind up spending $500, $600 by the end of the year, just by herself
Okay. I
because
understand.
because her sales are so large.
Right. Now
Hmm.
the $5,000, you'll get a 1099 from Avon if you purchase $5,000 or more in products from Avon. That's when you'll get a 1099. But you don't necessarily have to have a 1099 from Avon to still
Mm.
use your business, as a business. Okay, you still get to write off because you're still incurring expenses. You're still having fees that you have to pay. You're still paying a shipping fee for your products to be shipped to you. All of those are considered expenses that you are incurring to operate your business.
Okay.
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 So yeah, so just keep that in mind. Okay. And this is one of the reasons why I think everybody needs to have a home-based business, because everybody that I know who does not have a home-based business, they're walking away, who's already gotten their taxes done, is saying, I didn't get no money back.
Mm-hmm. I
I
know
didn't
some.
get no money back. I keep telling y'all got to have a business. You got to have a business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trump got this system set up for
That's open.
those who are business owners.
Business minded people. That's what he
Yes.
got it set up for. And
Yes.
it's for you to go in there and do a business and build and make some money. And that's
Absolutely.
what it's all about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's a 1099 world now.
That's it.
It's a 1099 world now. So yeah, so you got to capitalize on it. Capitalize on it. So, start telling people this is more of a reason why you need to be increasing your team. That's attractive to people. For people who don't have a home-based business, that's a selling point for you, because there are tax advantages as a home-based business owner. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. So you might want to start sharing that with people who are interested in joining the business, making sure that they understand that as a home-based business owner, it has a lot of tax advantages as being a home-based business owner. I see my new lady on the call. Hey, to Kenya, welcome to the call.
Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you tonight?
I'm good.
Good, good. Thank you for joining tonight.
Thank you for
Uh-huh.
inviting me.
Yeah,
Um, I
yeah.
do have I do have a question.
Okay.
I just received an email about sending in my social security number.
Okay.
What how does that work? Because they said if I don't, then
Your account will be closed.
okay.
Yeah,
And see,
yeah.
they didn't state it like that, and that's what I was thinking because they were saying it was I would be considered I wouldn't be able to purchase the items on credit or something like that. It would
Right,
be
right. Now maybe they have changed it now, and maybe they're not closing, but it used to be that if you did not use your social security number, they would give you 30 days to get your social security number in uh into Avon. And
okay.
if it was not submitted within 30 days, then they will close the account. So
Okay.
according to you, it sounds like they're saying something else. Now you're saying that,
Yes, I was trying to find it and pull it up real quick before I ask the question. But
okay,
yes, it was something like it was almost like I would be getting a different type of form or something.
Yeah, but they what happens with that, Felita, is that if they don't send a Social Security, they will not get 1099.
okay,
They will not.
Okay.
So if you sell, the $5,000, whatever, you will not receive a 1099. So that means you won't be able to get the money that you deserve if they don't have a Social Security number. But you can
Oh,
still do what you're doing. But when it's time come for a 1099, you will not receive it because you don't have
okay.
a Social Security number. They don't have any way to track you as far as a Social Security number.
Okay.
Yeah, so
And
that's
track as far as tax wise go track
yes,
my
right.
sales and how much money I've made. Okay.
Yes,
right,
yes. So
right.
that's what's going on. So if you don't, send it, that's what happens. You won't
Okay.
get
Because I
1099.
just received that today and I was like,
Okay.
okay. So I was gonna mail it out tomorrow, but
Hmm.
I wanted to ask about that. I was like, because
Hmm.
I'm not sure of what they mean.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Now you may be able to, I don't, did they give you an option to submit it online?
No, they gave it there was an it's an address that they wanted me to make a copy, send that, and with on the copy write my name and
No, call Avon. I wouldn't do
Yeah,
that.
call Avon first.
I would call
okay, and
Avon.
that's why I said I wanted to ask because
Yeah.
when it said that I'm like, okay,
No,
wait a minute.
because I don't know
That
what you sending it to, so I wouldn't do that.
yes,
I'll call Avon, and Avon will have you, because Avon used to have you fax stuff to them, not
you
send
know,
stuff to the mail. So call
yeah, I was
Avon
about to say
before you
this
Yeah,
send
one
it.
says send it through the mail and it had
No,
a
no, no.
address.
Call
yeah, because
Avon.
anybody could get that information. So
Right.
that's
Yeah.
why I said, was there a way that you could submit it online? So when you call Avon, ask if there's a way that you can submit it online. But yes, that your social security
Okay.
number is a
Yeah.
requirement.
And that's what I was thinking too, because I'm like,
Yeah.
well, if that was the case, then why didn't they have it when I set up where I could put my social security number in? It wasn't even listed on there.
Are
So
you
that was why I was
serious?
Wait a minute.
yes.
Really?
That's
On
it
your
wasn't even
side of
listed
it.
on there. That's why I had so much problems trying to log in. Because
Mm.
they just put they put 4 zeros for my last for the four where it asked for the last 4 digits.
Yeah.
When I ended up calling them, they said, "Oh, we just put zeros in because you didn't there was
You didn't put a number in.
you didn't have your social security number." And I
Oh,
Right.
told them, I said,
wow.
"Well, there was no box there for there was nothing asking me for my social security number." And she was like,
Wow.
"Yeah, that's why we just put zeros until you and once I contact them, then they told me what to do, and I put the 4 zeros, and then I was able to set up my password and stuff,
Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
so
Well,
I
That's
don't
call
have
them.
to
weird because
put it
that's
in
usually
anymore."
pops up on the
Wow.
first page usually.
Yes. Yeah. Your Social
Mhm.
Security number. When you sign in, it usually come up with the first number. It's your Social Security number. That's
Well,
Mm.
strange.
I didn't
Yeah.
see it
Hmm.
when I did it, but
Hmm.
they
Okay.
were like they just put 4 zeros in, and they were like just put the put 4 zeros in, and then you can set it up and change the password and everything. and that's what I
Okay.
did.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because
Yeah.
now I'll know, I know what's going on. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Glad you
because they
asked
had,
that.
like I said, it didn't have anything about doing it online, because that's what I was thinking. Because as I was reading it, I'm like, so I'm just supposed to mail my a copy of my social security card somewhere, don't know where it's going. But then they said once they enter it into the system, then they'll discard it. But I still wasn't comfortable with that either.
Comfortable with that. Yeah.
Let,
I wouldn't
and
be
I'll
comfortable with that
also,
either.
I'm gonna call leadership desk tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I'll text you the number to the leadership desk.
Okay.
Because if you call that customer service number, they're not gonna know. So I'll text you the number to the leadership desk, and you can call them tomorrow and
Okay.
see if there's a way that you can submit it some type of way online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So
I'm
I'll
like,
send that
y'all
over.
telling me y'all gonna discard it, but how do I know y'all gonna discard it afterwards?
Right.
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 Right. You
Sending
don't
it
want to
though.
do that. Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. No.
Right.
And they're gonna probably tell you once you talk to them, they're probably gonna tell you to fax it over. Cause I had a lady that did it. It's been a while back ago. But yeah, they usually ask you to fax it over. Because they want you to call and verify it's you. That's why I don't understand
Okay.
why they say mail it in. Because like you said, they don't know if that's you and they
Yes.
don't know who
And
you
I
mail
don't
it to.
know who I'm
Right.
mailing it to.
Right. So
Right.
yeah, call them. Yeah, it's best to call them and
Okay.
straighten that out. Yeah.
I'll text you the leadership desk number. You can call them tomorrow. They'll definitely be able to get you an answer. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, ladies. Well, we're going to go ahead and close the call out tonight. I want to thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. As Les Brown would say, it's been a plum pleasing pleasure.
Oh, Kalita, can I do one more thing?
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you, Kathy Gordon, for coming on, sweetheart. She's coming back to be an Avon rep. So I want to thank her so much for being on the call.
Awesome. Well, welcome back, Kathy.
All right. Welcome, Kathy.
Is she gone? I think she's already gone now. But yeah, I did see her earlier.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All righty.
All right, ladies. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Until next time, y'all take care, take charge, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Good night,
All right.
y'all.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you for everything.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right. Be blessed.